What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. The Jays not only teed off on the Orioles, they're calling up their super prospect that could literally one day strike out 300 hitters in a single season, and he has Savage in his last name. Bo Naylor might have single-handedly saved the Guardian season, same with Pete Alonso and the Mets. The former Met, Michael Conforto, has been awful all year for his new team, the Dodgers. Like, I'm talking about worst player in baseball type conversations, but he might finally be waking up. This Kurtz fella for the A's will not stop deleting home runs. Bobby Witt Jr. will not stop adding to his historic start to his young career, and Cal Raleigh, he is now one home run away from history. If you're brand new here, this is MLB Recap. We recap every baseball game almost every single day, so if you never want to miss out, leave a like and stick around. Hit that subscribe button. Also, super quick before the recap, don't forget that this series is brought to you by SeatGeek. Save yourself 20 bucks off all of your tickets using code Fuzzy. And one more thing, I'm going to be live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the rest of the season on Playback, watching live MLB games with my boy Cougs46. I'll see you guys over there on Playback. Because we weren't able to post yesterday, I take Sundays off. I did want to show what happened on Saturday, some of the best moments. Look at this home run hit directly to Anthony Rizzo on Anthony Rizzo retirement day. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Salvador Perez hit not just one, but two home runs, and his second was his 300th career home run, and also on the same swing, he got his 1,000th career RBI. Troy Johnston, a rookie for the Marlins, hit a walk-off home run, and he didn't just hit a walk-off home run. He stood and stared at that thing for 3 or 4 seconds, and then he bat flipped. Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit a home run in game number 162 as a Yankee to give him 40 home runs and 48 stolen bases. Obviously, it's not a full season, but his first 162 as a Yankee was a 40-40. And first name Nick, last name Kurtz hit the longest home run of the season with a 493-foot grand slam over the batter's eye. That's why they call this guy the Big Kurtz. All right, back to yesterday's games. He hit another one. Nick hit another one, as well as 4 other dudes, I believe. Noelvi Marte, I have absolutely no idea on God's green earth how he pulled this baseball out for a home run. That was vintage Vladimir Guerrero Sr. right there. Will Benson then swatted out a 2-run home run to make it a 3 spot for the Reds. Remember, the Reds, they're a game and a half back of the wild card, and they're going to try and stay there with 2 weeks left. But here comes the A's. Jay Willie, Jacob Wilson, and Colby Thomas. They jolted the 3rd and 4th home runs of the game. And here he is again, the Big Amish, the Big Kurtz. First name Nick, last name Kurtz, whatever you want to call this guy. He has back-to-back games with a home run. He's up to 32 home runs, 80 RBIs, and a near 180 OPS plus with 3 defensive run saves at first base. Nick got on again in the 7th inning, and Brent Rooker, he is now 1 away from 3 consecutive 30 home run campaigns. Sal Stewart, this kid can rake. He has 3 home runs his first 10 games. He's been a barrel darling with good velocities and even pretty good defense over there at the hot corner. Butler, he ends it with good defense of his own. The Reds, they just got swept at the worst time possible. So the Reds losing 3 straight means the Diamondbacks can leapfrog them and get even closer to the Mets for that final wild card spot. James McCann, the former Met, and I believe he was an Oriole, his 4 RBI eruption basically beat the Twins all by itself. He had an RBI single, then a 3-run blast in the 4th. He has a 330 on base this year. Matt Wallner, I mean, we know that this guy deletes baseballs. He has 22 home runs. Tim Towel of the Diamondbacks got that run back. Then Mickey Gasper of the Twins got that run back, and then Alec Thomas ended the scoring by getting it back again. And staying with back, Kyle Backus, he got a second save. He pushes the Diamondbacks to 2 games back of the Mets, and now they're ahead of the Reds, who are 2.5 games back. Here we go. We're in Citi Field. The Rangers are still taking on the Mets. This series has major playoff implications. I mean, it's getting crazy. Texas is on a bender. They could be winners of 6 in a row, and this game was kind of a snoozer because at first there was a Juan Soto ground out, but then Brandon Nimmo kind of woke things up with a solo home run in the middle half of the game. I shouldn't have said snoozer because Nolan McLean, the rookie, anytime you watch this kid pitch, you cannot be bored. He looks unstoppable. He had 7 more strikeouts with his all-time wicked stuff. He has a 1.19 ERA with 40 strikeouts his first 37 innings. I can easily see why, because people have been saying that he's their saving grace for the Mets. Like, once a week, you can kind of just say, phew, okay, Nolan McLean, he's got this. Jock ruined Nolan's chance at a W. A 2-run rally in the 7th forces extras, as well as this play right here, a double play in the 9th forces extras. Pete, he's up in the bottom of the 10th after the Rangers got shut down, and would you look at that, a 3-run walk-off home run courtesy of the Polar Bear. He has 34 home runs, which he had that last year in 162 games. He's already surpassed his RBIs, but check this out. In 162 games last year, he had 34 and 88. This year, in 150 games, he has 34 home runs and 117 RBIs with 2 weeks left. He's going to opt out 100%. The Mets, they don't lose any ground in the wild card. which is bad news for Giants fans and awesome news for Mariners fans because the Rangers finally lost, and also the Guardians fans were rejoicing as well. We'll get into the Mariners and Guardians game after this. Same with the Padres. Fast forwarding to the 5th in this Dodgers and Giants game, they were trading some RBI outs. Frederick finally broke that streak. He had a double. He now has back-to-back 3-hit games. He is 3 away from 550 doubles for his career. That is an insane amount of extra base hits. Conforto, of course, he is having his best series of the year against a team that he last played for. He had a 2-run single, and then after Miggy Rowe drove in 2 more, Michael made it a 3 RBI afternoon. He had an RBI in every single game versus the Giants, and he's batting almost 350 his last 8 games. Is it finally Michael Conforto bounce back season? Tommy Edman made it double digits. He's back in the lineup. Glasnow, he was awesome. 1 earned run over almost 7 innings. He goes 6 2/3. The Giants have lost 2 games in a row. So just like the Reds, they're losing at the worst time ever. The Giants are now 1.5 game back of the Mets. The Mariners scored even more than the Dodgers, and their win streak almost matched how many runs they scored in this game. Cal, he is 1 away from standing alone over Mickey Mantle. That's his 54th home run, which ties Mickey for the most in a single season by a switch hitter. J-Rod, he only had 2 RBIs. He also had 2 doubles as well. Josh Naylor and Dom Canzone, they beat Cal Raleigh and J-Rod with 3 RBIs apiece. Canzone has a 350 on base while sporting a very solid 287 batting average. The Mariners got up to 11 on a J.P. Crawford single, all while George Kirby was out there looking like prime Felix Hernandez again. Now, Christian Moore and Oswald Peraza did tag him, and I did want to show that for my Halo fans. Kirby erased 14 Angels hitters via the strikeout. 14! Now, Grant Holmes, he holds the most strikeouts this year with 15, but Kirby has now struck out 14 twice this year. Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu, some other starters in that rotation, have struck out 13 this year. The Mariners have won 9 consecutive games. They look like a full-blown juggernaut right now. Time to go check on the Astros. Then we'll talk about the Jays, Padres, Guardians, and then the Yankees and Red Sox game. There are so many vital series still in play. I love the 3-team wildcard because it makes September much more fun. Matt Olson got the party started down in Truist. He has back-to-back 2-hit games with the home run. He is going to mash and defend his way into serious Hall of Fame conversations. Albies and Ha-Seong Kim, they're going to be such a fun duo for the full 2026 season. Albies has 20 RBIs his last 26 games. Kim is hitting .290 with 6 RBIs his first 11 games. Whoa, Cam Smith. We all thought that he was going to be kind of a runaway Rookie of the Year guy. He went 446 feet. He still has to iron out some of the wrinkles, but he has a very bright future ahead because his defense has been insane as well, and he's very quick for a pretty big guy. Albies had another RBI, so he has 21 RBIs while hitting .305 his last 26. Sandy Leone, the 36-year-old catcher, he's still kicking. Sean Murphy is going to be missing the rest of the season with a hip thing, so Sandy's going to get a few spot starts. The Astros, they're 1 game back of the Mariners now. Houston has to keep that in mind because not only are they competing with the Mariners, but the Guardians, Cleveland, they can get within 2.5 games of them in the wild card. Bo Naylor, he basically won this game all by himself. Okay, Kwani, he for sure helped. What a catch to save a run out there in left field, but no BS. Cleveland, they had 6 total base hits, 2 of them from Bo, and all 3 RBIs came from him. He doubled in 2 in the 4th. Kwan and J-Ram, they're just always on base, and they're stealing bases. Chase Meidroth, he hit one off of Slade. Chase Meidroth, I just want to throw this out there, has 4 outs above average and one of the best eyes in Major League Baseball. If his pop keeps on building, he's going to be awesome. I'm so thankful that Mike Tauchman isn't like 6'5" or something like that because he probably brings this back. Bo, he wins it with a solo home run. He's been an awesome blocker and run game manager. I always thought that his defense would lag a little bit behind the bat, but it's been the inverse. He's 25 years old. Rocchio is 24 years old. He secures the save for Cade Smith, who is 25. The Guardians are looking locked and loaded for a disgusting 2026 with Travis Bazzana, Chase DeLauder, Juan Brito, maybe even Daniel Espino, Cal Steffen. I am so excited for the future. So I'm excited about my team. I'm sure that Jays fans are excited as well because they're calling up a dude with Savage in his last name, and he's having one of the nastiest starting pitching seasons in minor league baseball history. But more on him after the highlights. Kobe Mayo, he had one of the few shining moments for Orioles fans yesterday, and that was met with rage. Springer and Clement, they both doubled in some runs. Clement's was a 2 RBI double. Springer, he's been playing angry all year. He's batting .303 with 29 home runs and almost 160 OPS plus. He's 10 home runs away from 300, and he could get to 50 WAR for his career in the next few seasons. Joey Loperfido, who the Jays got in that Yusei Kikuchi trade. He's batting .345. Cowser hit a home run, and that was fine and dandy, but Barger, he negated that and more. He cleared the bases with a double, his 30th double of the season. He's up to 71 RBIs. I hope that he can get to 80 because 80 is just a fun round number. Clement made it a 10 spot, so he secures a 3 RBI day, all while Shane Bieber, he had 5 strikeouts with 1 earned run. He still has elite whiff stuff. The ground ball percentage and the walk rates have been awesome. The Blue Jays offense has been top 4 in terms of scoring runs, but the pitching rotation, they're 19th in ERA, and I think that's why they're calling up their mega prospect. The 6'4", 22-year-old Trey Yesavage, that is a real name. He was the 20th overall pick last year, and the number 1 prospect of the Blue Jays. He owns a 60 grade fastball, so he can get up to 98, 99. He has a 60 grade slider and splitter. That's why he has 160 strikeouts in less than 100 innings. Let that sink in. Let me repeat that. He has 160 strikeouts in 98 innings. That is prime Aroldis Chapman stuff, but as a starting pitcher, his over-the-top delivery reminds me a ton of Justin Verlander, and he's just as tall, and he throws just as hard. Mason Miller and Robert Suarez quite literally Thanos snapped the Rockies at the end of this game. Cronenworth, he had a bunt RBI. I mean, that's pretty rare. He scores Nando, who got on base 4 times, and he stole his 30th bag, but apparently he still needs the juice to be good at baseball. No, he doesn't. Jose Iglesias knocked in 2 more on a single, and the madness continues. Jackson Merrill is seeing red. He is on another planet right now. He has 8 extra base hits and 9 RBIs his last 8 games. Now, shout out to Mickey Moniak for continuing to showcase why he is one of the better power bats versus righties in the entire game. He had 2 home runs. He has 20 home runs and a .535 slugging versus righties. Tovar, wait, are the Rockies coming back? He doubled. Mickey made it a 4 RBI game. It's a 1-run game now. That's when Mason Miller struck out 3. Gavin Sheets clutched up, and Robert Suarez said, ha, cute comeback. Miller struck out 3 in the 8th. Sheets had a 2-run ground rule double, and Robert Suarez, he converted his 38th save with 3 more strikeouts. That is straight hell having to face that bullpen. No thank you. The Padres, they have a 99.7% chance of making the playoffs. The Yankees and the Red Sox are both at 90+% as well, and the Red Sox, they're trying to avoid a sweep in this series. They've had a ton of success against the Yankees early on, but this series has been all Yankees. Oh my, Will Warren got murked in the first inning. Bregman, Nathaniel Lowe, Romy the Homie Gonzales, Masataka Yoshida, Rob Refsnyder, and the former Yankee Carlos Narvaez, they all drove in runs in the first inning. Carlos Narvaez, I mean, it had to have felt a lot sweeter because, again, it's his former team. He has 3 home runs and 7 RBIs in 11 games against the Yankees this year. Ahmed Rosario, he's in there for lefty support, and a 2-run home run off of Garrett Crochet. Judge, he's been pretty useless. He did hit 1 home run against Garrett a few months ago or weeks ago, something like that. But after 2 strikeouts early on, he hit another home run. Crochet, he locked in regardless. He had 12 strikeouts. He is way out in front of everyone. He now leads Skubal by 16. Garrett Crochet is the first to 240. No one else aside from Tarek even has 220. Caballero, excuse me, he literally left the entire stadium. He has a .370 on base with 3 extra base hits and 3 stolen bases since being labeled as the starting guy over Volpe. I don't know if Volpe's going to come back after some cortisone shots, but I mean, Cabby looks pretty solid. Chapman, he's back to being Chapman. 3 up, 3 down for his 30th save. The Red Sox, they're 1.5 games back of the Yankees for that top wildcard spot. All this playoff talk got me wanting to talk about the only 2 teams in baseball right now with a 100% chance of making the playoffs. Both the Phillies and the Brewers clinched over this weekend, so we're going to talk about them back-to-back because this game was fun. Schwarber and JT, they smoked a few baseballs early on against the rookie lefty Noah Cameron, but in stepped another lefty rookie, Cags. He tied it with a 2-run jack. Get it? Bobby, there he is, legging a triple. Bobby Wood Jr. is seriously one of the greatest talents I've ever seen. He's not done. Vinny had 2 doubles in this game. He's up to 104 RBIs. Salvi, we saw what he did earlier in the video. He has 3 home runs and 8 RBIs the last 24 hours. He still has a cannon for an arm, but he's been awful at blocking and framing, and he's kind of been that the last, a while, and that matters for a Hall of Fame case. Is he a Hall of Famer or not? Because as a batter, he's one of the best hitting catchers we've ever seen. There he is again, 2 more RBIs an inning later. He helped Noah Cameron go 7 innings with 7 strikeouts. He has a 2.98 ERA in 22 starts. Bryson Stott, my friend, he's been a brand new human. We've talked about this. He's up to a 980 OPS since August 5th, approaching on, what, a month and a half now? Bobby Witt Jr., I'm just happy that he's 25 because Judge keeps on stealing MVP, but Bobby's going to win one. He's got 41 doubles, 22 home runs, 36 stolen bases, 23 outs of average, and a 26 F4 already at 25 years old. That is disgusting. The Royals are 6 games back. What's the level of hopium in Royals Kingdom right now? So both teams who clinched a playoff spot lost yesterday. The Cardinals, they went up 3 off of Quintana, and that was the game. Pages had a sac fly. You have Jose Fermin and Nathan Church adding the final 2. Caleb Durbin and Kenley Jansen did crush a few solo home runs, but it just wasn't enough to galvanize the rest of the team. The Cardinals bullpen, they completed Miles Michaelis' 8th win as Riley O'Brien, he continues to showcase disgusting stuff. He has 4 saves. The Cardinals, they're not out of it just yet. They're 4 games back with 2 weeks left. The Rays maybe had a chance at the wild card if they won, but hold on, I'm not going to spoil it just yet. Yandy and Jr., they are one of the most lethal combos in baseball, and I don't want it to end because Yandy's about to be a free agent. I still don't know why they didn't trade him considering he's about to be a free agent. Well, actually, he does have a team option for 2026, and actually, they're probably going to take it. I had to look that up before I just started spewing stuff. Jr. might hit 60 one day. He has 44 home runs and 108 RBIs. It's just that Nico Hoerner and Ian Happ, they took over and they accounted for 100% of the Cubs' comeback. Nico had an RBI. The Rays, they stole that run back, but then Ian Happ popped off for his 22nd home run, and then Nico, he clutched up with a 2-run, 2-bagger, and that right there was the difference. Shota, he had 9 strikeouts over 5. He's officially off the hook. Andrew Kittredge struck out the side versus his old team for his 5th save. The Rays are 7.5 games back. That is almost impossible. The Cubs, they're going to make the playoffs via the wild card, but now they're 5.5 games back of the Brewers. Can they make a late season push for first place? The Tigers will also be 5.5 games up on the Guardians if they do not beat the Marlins. The Marlins handed over a W on a silver platter. The Marlins made 3 errors on 1 play. Colt Keith got all the way to third base on an error from Wagaman. Then there was another throwing error from Acosta, and then another throwing error from Troy Johnston. Dingler, he had the 2nd earned run off of Adam Mazur, who took the tough L thanks to Kiter Montero going 5 shutout with 5 strikeouts. The bullpen got it to Will Vestwish, 21 saves. The Tigers are 85-65, and they're the only team in the Central, the AL Central that is, with a positive run differential. That's kind of crazy. Nicky G is about to be off to the races against the Nationals. This right here is going to be a 2-run triple, and then he scored moments after on a wild pitch from Cade Cavalli. Cue the comeback, though. Paul DeJong, he got 1 back. Nunez, he got a 2nd run on a sac fly. And Jacob Young, he tied it for a 3-run 2nd inning, and it stayed that way for a while. We're going to fast forward all the way to the 8th inning. Dalen Lyle, of course, he's involved in a comeback. O'Neal, he got there, but he missed it. I think that they might have held James Wood with a good relay, but he can essentially crawl home. That was a double with an error, not a triple. He has a 125 OPS plus. We're talking about Dalen Lyle, a rookie. Clayton Beeter, 3 strikeouts in the final inning for his 1st save of the year. That'll do it. Another recap in the books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to head on over to Playback to watch Cougs and I live later, watching some MLB games. We're going to watch that Trey Yesavage debut live. If you want more of my content, head on over to Fuzzy Gaming. We're getting closer and closer to 100,000 subs. Don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek and Underdog Fantasy. Enjoy the web gems. Thanks for watching.
Gonzales reaches out, touches it. Slater dives and makes the great catch.
Right there, jam shot, little flare. Churio got a late break, and he comes in to make the catch.
How far is this one going to go? Harris still going. Oh! Fly ball, shallow right field, and that's caught. Gilbert lifts one to right center field. Edman comes in, dives, and makes the catch.
There's a broken bat. Coming in is Ortiz, bare hands it